AFA Today on AFR Talk. Kevin McCullough from New York. Glad you're with us. Thank you for being here. Shutdown Week 2 is underway. And this weekend, they shut down the ocean. Next comes Mars. Partial bits of the moon have also been scheduled for closure. And Brent, what were you telling me? Is Venus or Mercury next? I'm not quite sure. Okay. They're starting on a list of the key, and this is really the problem when you think about it, is they don't know how to get the cones in place where they go. 888-589-8840. Meanwhile, there's actually some real news that is actually quite troublesome. Yesterday, Michael Youssef, Christian pastor here in America who writes frequently about the issues of what the church is enduring worldwide, wrote a spectacular opinion piece about the Obama policies and what they are physically doing to Christians and Jews across the world. You know that it's our policies that the Muslim Brotherhood, Al-Qaeda, and Al-Qaeda affiliates are all using as justification to go in and cleanse Christian villages, the town of Malula in the country of Syria being one of them. Forced conversion or chop people's heads off. The church that was blown up, the 133-year-old church in Peshawar, Pakistan, they actually had in the Arabic newspapers following that attack. The Western press didn't print it at all, but the Arabic press actually reported that the people that did that, which was an affiliate of Al-Qaeda, took credit for it and said that the reason that they're doing it is to get even with the West for their desire to support the Christians in different places around the world. And Youssef makes the astounding observation that Western governments are almost as anti-Christian as those in the Middle East. The difference is here, they shut them down and they show animus in a different way than just trying to blow them all up, which is what they do in the Middle East. A lot more crude opposition in the Middle East. In the West, they just do other things like sue them, try to get their 501c3 status taken from them, try to pass hate crimes laws so that you can then put the pastors in prison, that sort of thing. But the Western governments seem to hate Christians almost as much as the Middle Eastern governments. By the way, there is something you can do about that. You can go to defendthem.net and add your voice to a petition that is going to go to the federal government. And whether it's this president or the president following him or the Congress or the Congress that follows them, there are a group of American Christians that are going to say, hey, let's not expunge Christians and Jews from the lands of the Bible. Let's not back policies that do that. And if you want to add your name to that petition, it would be greatly helpful if you would go to defendthem.net and sign that. Anyway, back in the current day, we're shutting down things like, clouds and pieces of pull-off pavement to take pictures of Mount Rushmore. And I think the very tip of the Empire State Building, not where you stand, but where the antenna is, I think they're going to try to close that too. All they got to do is figure out how to get a cone there. And once they've got the cone, then they can call it officially closed. 888-589-8840. Let's talk to Sharon, calling from Texas. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough on AFA Today.
Hi, Kevin. I agree very wholeheartedly that this president needs to be removed from office, and as soon as possible, if anybody can figure out a way to get it done. But the other thing is, if they can close the ocean and the coastline, why can't they secure the border to Mexico?
Wow. Talk about something that actually needs to be closed.
Yeah, seriously, if that honestly can be done, now it should be just a piece of cake and a no-brainer to secure the southern borders, right?
One would think, yes.
Yeah. So I think they need to refocus and put their attention towards that.
All right, Sharon, thank you. We're getting some weird popping from your phone, so I'm going to have to let you go. But I appreciate your call. 888-589-8840. Janet has been patient in Texas. Hi, Janet. You're on with Kevin McCullough. Go right ahead.
Yes, Kevin, I really enjoy your program.
Thank you.
I would like to quote, it was Obama's town hall meeting in Montana, August 14th, 2009. He said, and I had this looked up, he said in that speech, he said, if we want a country that succeeds in the 21st century, we must lay a new foundation for lasting prosperity. And health insurance reform is one of the key pillars of this new foundation. When I heard that, I said, excuse me? We don't need a new foundation. We've already got one. It's called the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Constitution, and the first 10 amendments known as the Bill of Rights.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I don't think we need a new foundation. I think we need to unearth the foundation that's already there.
Yes.
Yes. We've allowed it to collect a little debris over time.
And we need elected officials that respect and honor and seek to uphold that. Also, I'd like to give a little homework for everyone.
Okay.
Look up the word tyranny, the definition of tyranny. And also, let's go, speaking of the Constitution, Article 2, Section 4. Read that.
All right. So
Okay,
they're supposed to look up the definition of tyranny in Article 2, Section 4 of the United States Constitution.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
Sharon, I'm Janet. You're very demanding when you come on this show. Giving homework assignments and such. That's okay. Call back sometime anyway. 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. I can already tell that I'm going to get some email today from people going, Kevin, I couldn't believe some of the things you were saying. You were being so serious about all of it. Yep, of course. Let's go to Eddie in Alabama. Eddie, you're up next on AFA Today with Kevin McCullough. Glad you're here. Oops, it would help if I push Eddie's button. There you go, Eddie. Now you're live on the air. Hi.
Hey, God bless you, Kevin. Thank you for the ministry, and
Thank you.
Just to add to what you've already said, which I agree with, the Lord does ask us to pray for our president, and He says in the Word that He can turn the heart of the king like water in the hand. And I also realize, sir, that the government we have, the Lord has given us the great freedom. We've elected these people.
Yep.
So I guess my heart on this is, hopefully God will bring something good from this to open the eyes of everyone to see that the Lord Almighty is the answer.
Eddie, let me go one step further, because you and I are on the same page there, brother, and thank you for your encouragement. I really do appreciate it. Now, two things that he said that jumped out at me right there, and one was that we are instructed to pray for our president. Now, last week, Gracie called from Michigan and said you can't call the policy despicable and still pray for the man. I thoroughly disagree, because I think the policy is despicable, but I do believe you can pray for, sincerely, the President of the United States. And what do I mean by praying? Well, if you've been following the AFA Today Facebook page, you know that on a daily basis over the last few days, the Lord's been given, some quaint little things. And this morning I was sitting in the parking lot to my office building, and I just come and I'd spent some really nice time with the Lord this morning, and I was like, Lord, give me something today, please, that it really summarizes the essence of the battle that we're in. I mean, gets to the bottom line of what we've got to do. And it was crystal clear. And this is what I posted on Facebook, the AFA Today Facebook page today. You can go and read it. But the Facebook status says, question mark, like, with groanings too deep for words, have we really prayed about it? I don't know the last time I prayed for anything that had groanings so deep I couldn't find words for them. Do we really pray? Are we really praying for our president? Are we really praying for our nation? Are we getting nice and upset about it and talking amongst ourselves and patting each other on the back and saying, yeah, I agree with you. You're justified in feeling that way. Eddie's right. And it's the people of God that have to lead the way in that regard. We have to be the ones that take the charge of that. That's not something the non-kingdom person is going to do. It requires the church to be involved. 888-589-8840. So really? You've prayed about it? Did you? Did you really pray about it? I mean, really pray about it. It's a good challenge for both of us. 888-589-8840. Let's get back to the phones. Kenneth is in Texas. Hi, Kenneth. Welcome. You're on with Kevin McCullough and AFA Today. Hi.
Yes, sir. Well, sadly, going on up there is just a reflection of what society has become because the church not doing its job the way I see it. And I don't like what they do, don't want what they do, but this country is just going to have to repent, get on its face, do what God said to do, and He'll heal our land. And that's about all I got to say.
Yeah, and if he doesn't do it, if he doesn't heal it the way we believe that we would like it to be healed, ultimately it will be healed. I do believe that Jesus gets the last word on all of it. He is Alpha and Omega. He's going to say what it's going to be. The question is, are we going to be in tune with who He is and His will and His plan because of our relationship with Him? Are we going to be in tune with Him so that we're part of the process instead of working against it? 888-589-8840. Let's talk to Patty in Alabama. Hello, Patty. Welcome. You're on AFA Today with Kevin McCullough. Glad you're here.
Oh, yes. Hey, Kevin, I appreciate your radio show.
I appreciate you. Thank you for encouraging me.
Oh, yes. Keep up the good work. I do want to make some comments, about our president. It's true. We do need to pray for him and all of our elected officials. However, there's some observations that are quite obvious. I truly believe he's not for America. He is more for the Muslims, and he likes all these little petty things that are going on to keep us distracted so we will lose our focus on what we really need to stand for. And that's what I wanted to say. That's how I feel about it. And also, I'm burdened in my heart about our country in general because we've got children and grandchildren, and our children are going to be into worse things than what we grew up with, our age group. So that's what I wanted to say, and I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you so much, Patty. I appreciate you. 888-589-8840. Packed phone lines, but if you can get in, 888-589-8840. Alan is also in Alabama. Hi, Alan. Welcome.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm well. You're talking with Kevin McCullough, and we're glad you're with us on AFA Today. What's your thought?
Well, I haven't been the Christian I should have been or need to be, and I know I need to pray for the president, but it's kind of hard sometimes. Now, the office of the president, yes, but, sometimes I have a hard time praying for the man because of, everything he's done. I don't know how, you see this on the internet about him paying for the Muslim Museum and making November Muslim Appreciation Month, and I saw this morning where they have the post office is issuing new stamps to commemorate Muslims.
Yeah, but Alan, but Alan, hear me for a second. Those are all symptoms. Those are all symptoms of something that's not right in his heart. So when you pray for him, you don't have to pray. You don't have to pray that you can grow to like him or anything like that. You can pray that God will take over his heart. You can pray for him. See, if it's easier to pray for people, I find it personally easier to pray for people that I disagree with on things, because I can easily say to God, then, look, if one of us is wrong, show us who it is. But help me to be diligent to pray for him And Lord, show him what he needs to be shown. Help him understand what he needs to understand. Give him insight on what he needs to do as a leader.
Right.
Because as he has this power and this position in this seat for the next couple of years, there's things that he can do that can greatly hurt or greatly help our country and the world in general. And we want God to be using him in a way that God wants to use him.
Wants to use them, right.
Yeah. So I actually find it easier sometimes to pray for people that I disagree with because I just know that if I were God, I'd be making different decisions, and maybe I am the one that's wrong in that situation. So God, show us the truth. Allow truth to be seen for what it should be. And when truth comes in, here's the guarantee, friends. When truth comes in, confusion is obliterated. Just gets blown up and swept away. Truth overtakes confusion. Truth displaces confusion. So let's obliterate the confusion. Let's replace it with truth. And let's push ourselves, kicking, screaming, praying towards a life of clear thinking every single day. I'm Kevin McCullough. Thank you so much for being with us today on AFA Today. The Clear Thinking continues with Brian Fisher and the Good Ship Focal Point next here on AFR Talk.